Nobody likes a stale social media presence, not the people who are running the channels and not the audience. What I mean by stale social media presence is one that's gotten kind of boring over time, or it's become predictable. You know it when you see it. You may see your engagement or reach go down, or you may see them stay the same. You may have plateaued. That can also create a stale social media presence. But hope is not lost if your presence is kind of stale. You just need to shake things up a little bit. In this episode, I'm going to give you 5 different ways you can shake up your social media presence so you can increase your reach, increase your engagement, and overall just increase your effectiveness. This is Unforgettable Online Marketing, and I'm your host, Tara Wilder. On this show, we share practical online marketing tips and strategies for virtual business owners like yourself, so you can create a stronger online presence that attracts your ideal client, engages them, nurtures a relationship with them, and converts them into leads and paying clients. I have a request for you. Our goal is to get this information, not just this episode, but all episodes, in front of as many entrepreneurs as possible so we can make the biggest impact possible. So what really helps us with that is ratings and reviews. So if you could take a moment and go to your favorite podcast player and make sure you rate and review and subscribe to the show, I would absolutely love it. I also really love hearing from you too. All right, let's get started with episode number 20, 5 simple ways to shake up your social media presence. You currently land in one of 2 areas. You're either consistently posting on social media on at least one page, or you're not consistently posting. If you are not consistently posting, then in order to get out of your stale social media presence, what you need to do is start posting. I mean, it's that simple, really. The strategies I'm going to share in this episode are for people who are already posting using best social media practices, and they're looking to change up what they're doing in order to improve the results that they're already getting. If you haven't been posting consistently on social media, don't worry, you can still listen to this episode, but I would really like you to just get started with posting consistently before you try any of these ideas. The first tip is to boost a high-performing post, which means that you're putting in money to force the social media channel to show that specific post to even more people. As you know, these channels aren't showing your posts to every single person that's following you. It'd be freaking bananas if they did that. Because, I mean, imagine how many pages you're following and how many people you're friends with. And imagine what your feed would look like. It'd be updating constantly, and you would be overwhelmed, and you'd be missing out on content that you actually really want to see. So they don't typically show your posts to every single person. There are ways to increase your reach organically, meaning without spending any money. And in episode number 21, which hasn't been published yet, obviously, but episode number 21, which is going to be published next week, Ed Troxel and I talk about how to increase your reach organically on Facebook. So go check that out. Anyway, sometimes it's helpful to just pay a little bit of money to boost the post and force that channel or that platform rather, to show your post to more of your followers and people who are not following you just yet. And what's great about this, that's true for any sort of paid advertising, is that you can select exactly the demographics and psychographics of the type of person that you want to see your post. So this is highly targeted. The next question is, what posts should you boost? It's really easy. You boost the posts that are already performing well, meaning they are getting the level of engagement and the type of engagement that you want them to get. If the post is performing well, that means that it's a good post. And so logically speaking, if you get it in front of more people are likely to engage with it and likely to maybe follow you if they're not already following you. This question I get asked a lot about just paid advertising in general, which includes boosting posts, and that is, how much money should I spend? And that question I really can't answer because it really depends on who you are, what your business is, and what your goals are. In general, with boosting posts in order to get more reach and more engagement, I recommend doing just $5 a day for 5 days. Just test that out, see how it goes. And if it's doing really well and you want to increase your results, then put in more money. What's really cool about this is that after you boost the post, you may see that overall on your page, your engagement and your reach will increase. And the reason for this is because of the logic that social media algorithms use. Because they don't show all of your content to all of your followers, they choose what they show to who very selectively. What they want to do is provide the best experience possible to their users. So they want to show the users what they like. If a particular person or user has engaged with your content a lot, then the logic is that they like what your page is putting out, so that platform will show your posts to that person more often. And another cool thing about this too is if more people are engaging with your content, then that overall tells the channel that, hey, the people in general really like this page's content, so we should show it to even more people too, who maybe don't engage as often or maybe don't engage at all because they haven't seen the page's content. So that's boosting a high-performing post. Another way you can shake up your online presence is by doing a week-long series, which is essentially a special event on your page. It's a break from business as usual. What you do is pick a theme or a topic and then post every single day a piece of content that has to do with that theme. And the post, it can be either text or video. I usually suggest you do video because video gets really great engagement. This special week-long series that's like an event, it gets people excited about something and it gives them a reason to come visit you outside of just, hey, come check out what I have to say. It also might give you a boost in the algorithm too because people will be engaging more than usual. There are a lot of benefits to doing a week-long series. Some people call this a challenge. What they'll do is post every single day for a few days, it varies, and then make a call to action at the end. But the word challenge may not apply to you or your topic or what your vision is for this week-long series, so I'm just calling it a series. Here is an example. One of our clients is a consultant who works with kids with social challenges, and we're currently strategizing a week-long series for her social media, which we haven't announced to the public yet. But I'm going to give you an example of what she could do. This isn't the actual challenge that we're going to do though. So again, she works with kids with social challenges. So her topic for the week could be how to create a sense of belonging in the classroom. Each day she can go on Facebook Live and share one tip to create that sense of belonging in a classroom. Super easy, super simple. It doesn't have to be fancy. Really, the purpose of this is just to bring something new to your audience. Now, whether or not you pitch something at the end is totally up to you. You could pitch something. It could be a free call or a lead magnet or one of your products or services. In general, I think it's good to give some sort of offer, even if it's as simple as check out my website, or actually, I don't like that call to action because the check out my website call to action is really general. You want to give them something really specific to do. So if you're going to say, like, if you want to lead them to your website, give them a reason, a very specific reason to. Or it can be something like sign up for my for this lead magnet to continue on this journey, whatever topic it is you're covering. Just make sure that your call to action is relevant to your series. The third way to shake up your social media presence is by interviewing somebody. There are podcasts and telesummits and webinars and all sorts of different ways you can do this. Those require a lot of planning and a lot of tech too. But for interviewing somebody on your social media, you don't really need to do that much planning and you don't need that much tech. First, what you want to do is consider the topics that your ideal client is interested that is relevant to what you talk about. It can be directly related, like for example, I do online marketing, and so the people that I interview typically are people who are in the online marketing space and have specific areas of expertise. After you brainstorm those topics, what I want you to do is think about people you know who's an expert in those areas. Again, people that you already know, because you're much more likely to say yes. Now, they are much more likely to say yes. That doesn't mean that You shouldn't go for people that you don't know. I've interviewed tons of people that I didn't know personally before asking them to be on my platform. But the goal of these methods to shake up your social media presence is for it to be easy for you, or as easy and simple as possible. And going for the lowest hanging fruit, essentially people that already know you and like you and trust you, is the quickest way to accomplish this. Then, of course, the next step is to ask to interview them. And you can do this in so many different ways. You can do it via text, you can do a pre-recorded video, you can do a live stream. Then decide when, where, and how, then decide the topic, and then promote. What you'll want to do is, of course, promote it on your page before and during and after it, and then also have them promote it on their pages. What I like about this in particular is that it exposes you to people that are not in your audience already by way of the person you're interviewing. They're going to be promoting it on their pages to their audiences. And this is going to be a warm audience, meaning they already know, like, and trust the person that you're interviewing. So when the person you're interviewing says, hey, come on over to this platform, this person is cool, the audience will think, okay, well, this must be worth my time because I trust this person. Again, this method can get complex and complicated, but only if you want it to. You can keep it really simple. With my podcast, this is my platform for interviewing people. And so I have systems and processes in place, and I'm specific about the way that I do things because I want it to be consistent from episode to episode. And for interviews, one-off interviews on my social media channels, I'm a lot more flexible about it because it's more informal, essentially. This can be as complicated or as simple as you like. It can be fun, so do it in a way that feels fun to you. The fourth way you can shake up your social media presence is by creating content in a way that you haven't before. So what I mean by that, for example, is do video if you haven't done video before, do pre-recorded video, or do live streaming if you haven't done that. If you already do video or have done video, then maybe you can do a special series, kind of going back to the week-long series idea. It could be even more simple than that. You could just do maybe a 3-part series. You want to give 3 tips, you do a video the first day, the second day, the third day, instead of maybe once a week. You get the idea, right? Create content in a way that you haven't before. Shake it up. Shake up your posting schedule. Maybe also you could do a joint Facebook Live with someone. You can create a behind the scenes post. You can share testimonials or case studies. If you have a lead magnet that you haven't promoted in a while, you could post that. I mean, I know these are a lot of ideas that I'm throwing at you. I'm giving you all these ideas to get your juices flowing, essentially, because there's just so many different things that you can do, really. Create a content in a way that you haven't done before is a really, really broad tip. It's like the most simple way to shake up your social media presence. Do something that you're not already doing. Now, what I said was create content in a way that you haven't before. But if you have created content or published content in a particular method or style way long ago and haven't done it in a while, you can also do that too. It's been a long time, so it's still going to feel fresh and new if you do it again now. This final method of shaking up your social media is to engage with other people more. I find that a lot of entrepreneurs who are posting on social media or doing any sort of content marketing, really, they're just publishing their content out there and they're not showing up in other communities. Some aren't even like really responding to the people who are engaging with them. So at the very least, what I want you to do is whenever you post on social media and somebody responds to it, I want you to always comment back. So yes, you can react to it, like smiles, hearts, whatever. I want you to react to it, of course, and I also want you to comment too, because that's just a different level of engagement. They're hearing your voice, via text, but they're hearing your voice. Furthermore, what I like to do when I respond to comments is engage in conversation with them. So maybe if they say, oh, I love this post, I'll say, oh, I'm so glad you like it. What was your biggest takeaway? Something like that to engage conversation. This is nurturing a relationship with them, which is really what social media and content marketing is really about, is nurturing a relationship with people. And don't forget the word social in social media. So in terms of engaging with your people, what you can do is ask them a question. Make it a really short post with just the question, and you want to make it really easy to answer because people have a short attention span, and they especially have short attention spans on social media, and they don't want to think too deeply. Typically, there are some audiences that are willing to think a little bit more deeply. It depends on the brand and the type of person, of course. But as a general rule, try to keep your content on social media on the more simple surface level type, side. So what I mean by deeply is like, you don't want to ask a question like, what's your childhood trauma, for example? That is a deep question. But you could ask a question like, what inspired you to start your business? Now, that also is somewhat deep too. But I think that that's an easier question to answer for people, and it's a little happier for them to answer. You know, it's not it's not dredging up some painful memories. And then if you want to make it a question that's even simpler to answer, make it a yes or no, or give them two options to choose from. For example, would you rather go on vacation to somewhere tropical, or would you rather go to the mountains? Something like that. I know it's more superficial and doesn't engage in really deep conversation, but you're still having conversation. You're still engaging with them and nurturing that relationship with them. Then I want you to get out of your bubble and go start posting on other people's posts. On Instagram and Twitter, you can surf hashtags and see the top posts that are using those hashtags. I want you to comment or tweet on those. The reason is because those are getting a lot of engagement already, and so more people are likely to see it, and you're likely to meet more people that way too. I want you to respond also to other comments on that posts. With all comments that you're making on other people's posts and replies to other people's comments, I want you to give something of value. Now, I don't mean it has to be paragraphs and paragraphs and super deep and take you a long time to respond. I mean more than just a single emoji or a single word. I want you to respond to like what the person is saying, and it can be as simple as saying, "Oh, I love to journal in the morning," if the post is about morning routines. It's a super simple comment. You're engaging with them and you're giving something of value a little bit deeper than just an emoji or great post. Now, going back to what I said a second ago about commenting on top posts and top tweets, you can also comment on posts and tweets that aren't the top ones. You'll still get traction that way too, and it's still worth engaging and creating a relationship with those people. And then I was mentioning Instagram and Twitter. The reason why I didn't add Facebook in that list is just because hashtags are not used the same way on Facebook as they are on Instagram and Twitter. So on Facebook, the way that you would engage with other communities is by commenting on your friends' posts, commenting on other pages, engaging in groups. Same idea, just give value. Don't be too superficial or too surface level. You want to engage. Engage. How many times have I said that in this episode? Engage. Okay, is that enough ideas for you to use to shake up your social media presence? I feel like I gave you a lot. So definitely take the time to go write down any ideas you have from this episode, from listening to this episode. Just to run through it real quick. The 5 simple ways to shake up your social media presence are to boost an already high-performing post, do some sort of week-long series. You can interview somebody, create content in a way that you haven't before, and then also engage with people more. If this episode inspired you to do any of these methods that I mentioned to shake up your social media presence, I would love to hear from you. So send me a message on Instagram, or you can join our Facebook group, the Unforgettable Entrepreneur Society, and post in there. And if you want, we'll also give you feedback and resources and some more ideas if you want that. Just let us know. And again, next week's episode is really, really good. It's episode number 21 with Ed Troxel, and we're going to be talking about how to increase your Facebook page's organic reach in 2020. I'll see you next week on Unforgettable Online Marketing.